I'll share it on the parents group and then we'll take it from there. All right, so this works. So let me capture the link now and share it with some of the parents out there who would want a link to the replay afterwards. Fantastic. Chat. Okay, so let me see. Please give me a second. Let's be typing what we learned yesterday. I learned quite a lot too. I'm not someone that is very keen on skincare, but I learned a lot yesterday. And I assure you, I want to start making adjustments. I'm telling you, I want to start making adjustments. I so want to start making adjustments. And the reason is simple. I now know what healthy skin looks like. All right. I now know what healthy skin looks like. Fantastic. So I think I'm done delivering the links to parents. So let me come back to our Zoom meeting. All right, everyone is ready. Okay, so let me see what's happening in our chat. Okay, Princess Ibitoru says she wasn't here yesterday. A number of people were here yesterday. I learned we should take care of our skin. Tell me how, Esther, Princess Esther, tell me how do we take care of our skin? I learned that acne and pimples are not caused by oily food as most people think. Yeah, I also learned that it's necessary to have a skincare routine. I learned the causes and preventions of stretch marks. I also learned that not all kinds of body wash should be used on the face. Yes, I learned that the soaps we use on the rest of our body will be too harsh for our face. I also learned not to use sponges on our face. So the girls who were not here yesterday was everything and more. We learned about how to keep our skin clean, neat. I mean, it was different things. Honestly. So let me see. I learned that we should all have a skincare routine. Yes, I learned that hygiene is absolutely important to prevent body odor. I learned that we shouldn't use our bathing soap on our face. Yes, absolutely. I learned the importance of hygiene and how your pimple can be influenced by your pillow. Yeah, I heard that pillowcases, and the soap we use on our face should be different from the soap for our faces. I learned that we should wash our faces morning and night. How can I watch yesterday's one? If you're on the WhatsApp group, I posted a YouTube link there that you should watch. And also I noticed that at some point, the session was caught on YouTube. So I'm going to upload the remaining part of it. I'll upload it and post it on YouTube as well. So we have the replay links that is in the chat. It was really good conversation if you ask me. So today we're going into another kind of conversation. So the whole thing we've designed about this bootcamp is like this. First, we wanted to look at our skincare. I also learned that pimples, acne, and eczema is all part of puberty. Yeah, I learned that too. I didn't know eczema was a part of that, even though she also mentioned that like a dirty environment can lead to an infection on the skin. But other people's eczema can be related to all the hormonal changes happening during puberty. Someone said, I learned that hormones are the root causes of acne, how to treat and manage acne, to see a dermatologist to get a specialized skincare plan, and giving topical antibiotics plus hormonal therapy. So, but there's something else she said yesterday. I don't know if anyone can remind me. We said beautiful skin is equal to beautiful you. True or false? Is that correct? Beautiful skin is equal to beautiful you. All right, false. Princess Emanuela said false. False. So can help us now. So do you want to unmute and share for people that were here yesterday? Why is it false? Why is it false? For people that say it's true, why is it so? All right, who wants to share? You can indicate, you can raise your hand and I'll ask you, okay, Princess. All right, let's go. Let me look for Princess A. All right, so you can unmute. Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay. Name.
Okay, I'm Princess Tomi, by the way. So she said for some people that she has met a few people who are physically beautiful, but their behavior doesn't show the same. So you can be pretty
Yes.
outside or you can be beautiful outside, but then you have no internal beauty. And then again, she has met some people who have severe skin problems like eczema and all that stuff, and they still have really good characters. So yeah, that's what I remember.
Oh, that was very well captured. And then, I remember her saying that yesterday, that in case you're having a rough patch with your skin, you shouldn't look down on yourself. It shouldn't make you feel that you're not beautiful, because being beautiful is an inside job and your skin is just going through a rough patch. All right. So yes, we need to take care of our skin, but we can't take care of our skin out of fear that we won't look beautiful. You have to believe that you look beautiful, and then you're caring for your skin because it's your skin and you want to take good care of yourself. So it's about how you present yourself, Princess Emmanuel. Thank you. Princess Faith said, I learned that hormones stimulate oil glands on our skin and also react to the bacteria on the skin that causes pimples and acne. All right. So I've always been a pimple person. And in fact, recently I started going to do facials. I used to feel like, well, it's not really a big deal. But recently I just started discovering that, well, I don't like doing a lot of makeup. So I would really like my skin to be skinny. Since I don't do makeup, but if the skin is fresh and bright, and the way she talked about, what are those things that she said, characteristics of healthy skin? She said there's a glow. And glow does not mean that you're fair. All right. Who can remind me, please? She talked about having the glow. She talked about having the glow. All right. All right. Okay, so let me see. Healthy skin radiates. Yes, she said it radiates. There's a radiance on it. There was someone that was talking about how she wanted to lighten her skin a bit. I think she mentioned something like that. And she said there was no need to. Your current complexion is beautiful. When you radiate your skin, okay, so healthy skin is smooth. When you start learning how to take care of your skin, this same skin will look beautiful, will be healthy. You don't need to change complexion. The person said lightening of skin with turmeric. There's no need to. If your skin heals and is healthy, you will be refreshed. So we started out the bootcamp talking to you about skincare. Today we want to talk about mind care. How do I care for my mind? There's a lot of pressure around me. There's a lot of information coming left, right, and center. What do I do with all of the pressure? How do I guide the decisions I'm making with all of the pressures happening around me? So I'm going to start out today asking you a few questions. If you have your journal right, it would really help. So I wanted you to think about four things that your mom, your dad, your aunt, grandma, grandpa, they're always talking to you about. I mean, think about, for the longest time, things that you've been told repeatedly. Think about things you've been told repeatedly to be mindful of. I'll give you a quick example. When I was younger, when I was a child, my grandmother had a big knack for me to read the Bible on my own, to pray on my own. She wanted me to have like a vibrant relationship with God, and then what else? She was big deal for me on reading. It was a big deal for her, the company that I kept. Those were some of the things that was present. So in your own life right now, can you think about 3 to 4 things that your parents are consistently going on and on about? Tell me. It doesn't need to be argument. I mean, I'm talking about like they're always talking about it. They want to remind you, if you're traveling now, if you're going back to school now, and it's going to be one of the things your mom or dad says as they're sending you off. They're always talking about it. So if you can think about 3, 4 of them and put it on the chat. All right. Remember all right. Remember the child of whom you are. So Princess Adura, what do they normally mean by that? I heard that a lot as well. So maybe because they feel that their durers they feel that, I'm calling you now by your surname, maybe they feel that they have a reputation that people know them for. For example, if you come from a home where your parents are really big on honesty, your parents are, doing projects, are doing things, they're known in society as being honest people. They want you to continue in that pathway. They don't want you to get out there and do something that questions your own integrity. So they want you to remain honest. So when they say, remember whose child you are, what they're really asking you is, what is the reputation that the family already has? All right. All right. So I see another thing. I see something here. I say, okay, so Princess Esther said to be authentic. Princess Esther, do you want to explain a little bit more to me what you mean by being authentic? All right. Explain a little bit more what it means to be authentic. I see Princess Chamaka say to be mindful of the friends that I keep, because evil communication corrupts good manners. All right. So yeah, I like the way you put it here. Evil communication corrupts good manners. All right. So they want, friendship is big deal for them. Fantastic. So that I should not forget the background and get carried away. Always stand out. Don't blend in. Don't try to blend in. You must shine and show who you are. All right. Praying, reading the Bible, good company, no following of boys, and being mindful of the friends that I keep. The way you dress is the way you'll be addressed. I don't know if that's what I saw, because that's what they told me as well when I was growing up. All right. Okay. The way you dress is very important. It is how you will be addressed. Don't open the door for anybody when you go out. When they go out. I like the smiley you have there. Staying away from boys. I only know myself. Yeah, because they're like, don't go out there and be naive. Don't go out there and say you trust people. You don't know what people are capable of. You only know yourself. All right. They always say that boys will lead me nowhere. Boys will lead you nowhere. It's not everybody that is your friend. Very true. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Yes, they want you to have checklisting. Checklist like a plan for the day, plan for money, plan for time. If everybody likes you, then there's a problem with you. Amy, that is loaded. That statement is loaded. If everybody likes you, then there's a problem with you. The way you carry yourself is very important. All right. Be mindful of what things you watch, because they register subconsciously and influence the decisions you make. You guys are blessed. Boys will destroy you. All right, now, so of all these things that you've listed that your parents say to you, sacrifice is short-term pleasure for long-term peace and happiness. I totally agree. All right. So which of these things do you always try to follow? Which of all these things personally you have decided that you're going to do it, that you do it, you've decided that this is going to be it, you're doing it? Let me hear. If everyone likes you, then there's a problem with you. I like that. If everyone likes you, there's a problem. It means that everyone, wrong standards, doing anyhow, they're comfortable around you. So which of these things do you feel like if they ask my friends right now, they'll say, this is what Amy lives by, this is what Chamaka lives by, this is what Favor lives by. Like if you ask my friends, that's what they will say. All right, to work out my relationship with God, yes. Sacrifice short-term pleasure for a long-term peace and happiness, yeah? So these are things that your friends will tell you that Chamaka or Favor lives by this. Post out things that you know you live by, all right? Fantastic. The ones that you live by, you know that no matter how it is, I'm making effort here. I'm making effort here. All right. I want to actually talk to people verbally. So, excuse me, I would like 3-4 people. I want to put you on the hotspot and you tell me about that one thing that you're currently working on now. Who wants us to do this? Always on my books, happiness. Who wants us to do this? Amy, all right. So you're already pinned. I'm going to ask you to unmute and tell me about the one thing I'm telling you that you're trying to keep.
Hello, hi, good evening.
Hello.
Okay, so that's one that you actually singled out, that you said that I said that if everyone likes you, then it means that there's a problem with you. Because
Yes.
I know for some time, like nobody liked me at all. I was like this ugly duckling, black sheep kind of person. But then I learned to be myself, and people that liked me for being myself became my friends. People that didn't like me, so you can go and stay your way. I don't want you in my space.
Fantastic. How has it
So
been for
yeah,
you dealing with all of that?
it was scary at first, but then I learned to deal with it because I know my mom has told me not everyone will like you. And it doesn't mean that because a few people hate you, does not mean that you have to change who you are.
Yes. Yes. And you know, sometimes, Amy, hate is even a strong word. Some people are intimidated by you. They don't know how to handle emotions, and so they come across as hate. Do you get?
Yes.
Your gut throws them off. Your gut annoys them. Your ability to not need them annoys them. All right. So, Amy, do you think it is important for a person to come to that place where they are not trying to please people around them? They follow what is right in spite of. Do you think is important?
Yes, I think it's very important, especially for your mental health and well-being.
Okay. Explain some more. What do you mean by mental health and well-being?
Okay, so it will come to a point where if you're trying too hard to please everyone, you yourself will break down. While everyone is going up, you'll be going down just because, and then I think you become a stepping stone.
All
You become
right.
a stepping stone, and it won't help
Trampoline
you
on
to
you.
progress. It won't help you to
Become a
progress,
trampoline.
and yes, to be very bad. It will be very
So
bad,
give me a
and
tip.
at one point, I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Can you share a tip about how this could happen for someone, for a young person of your age? Use real scenarios. Like, for instance, you have friends that use typical examples so that all the girls on the call can follow what you mean by mental health. You become a stepping stone or people trample on you. Use a typical example of what could happen.
Okay, let's say we're friends now. We're like a group of friends, three friends, and one of them is always this kind of timid, meek person. You're always asking them for things. They don't hesitate to give you, but then at one point they will start getting deprived of those things that they need. But then because you're like their friends, you just keep asking and asking, and they'll keep giving. It will get to a point where you might even decide to leave that person, and that person will have nowhere to go though. And I think that it will become a point where the person will not know how to stop doing that particular thing.
Okay, so the person becomes overly dependent.
Yes, on other people.
Is that what you mean?
Yes.
On other people. All right. Thank you. Evie. That was profound. Thank you so very much. All right.
You're
So,
welcome.
so who else wants to give us a shot? Tell us your experience. Okay, Princess Zawua. Yes, I see you, Princess Deborah. I'm coming to you, and after that, we'll have Chiamaka. All right. So let me ask you, Chiamaka, on mute. I'm looking for Deborah now. And go. Chiamaka.
Good evening,
All
ma.
right. Adding you to the circle. We're having a full chat today. So tell me,
Good
what is
evening,
the
ma.
one thing you've tried to leave here? Yes, good evening.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Very well.
Okay.
Yes, I
Um.
can.
Okay. The one thing I try to leave from what my parents always tell me is to work out my relationship with God, because he's only one that has the purpose for my life. He has the will for me. He created me. He knows what I will be in future. He knows what I'm doing now. He sees everything that I do. So if I can work out my relationship with God now that I'm still young, it will help me.
it will make me like, I believe in dreams. I believe that whatever you want to be, God can show you, God can reveal it to you. So friends that are around me now that can delay me, can waste my time, God can show me. So if I can work on my relationship with God, it will remove certain risks that I may take working out alone. It will remove so many things, so many distractions, and push me forward too early. That's what I believe. Did you hear me?
Oh, fantastic. I like what you're saying. I like what you're saying. So if I hear you correctly, what you're saying is that for you, having a relationship with God helps
Yeah.
you to avoid risk.
Yes.
Is that correct? And that you believe that God can reveal things to you that will protect you from potential harm. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes, ma.
Did I hear you correctly?
Yes, ma. Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Faith. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Rita, your hands were up. Are you ready for us? Rita, do you want to share? You can unmute.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I want to hear you, please.
Okay, so basically, I'm really close with people and it's really affecting me. So I decided that I'm going to work on the way I relate to people. So I'm going to reduce that because I need space for myself and everything around me too. So instead of me being very close to them, I should work on other things like my attitude and my connection with God and other things. Yeah. So that's basically the entire thing.
All right. So you're what you're telling me is that you're able to step back and look at things happening around you and say, I'm doing this too much, I'm doing that too much. Which of the things, tell me something your parents taught you that has influenced this decision you're making now.
Basically, everything they usually say, I have decided that everything I'm doing is in essence. I relate to people too much. I am very conversant with everybody. And so I realized that it is not about what I am exactly doing. It's about how I relate to people. So my mom told me that I should um calm down a little bit. I should reduce everything. So I actually saw that as a good stepping stone. So yes, that's what I'm doing.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. You girls are you're rock stars. So I wanted to ask one more question to the house. This one, we can leave it as a comment in the chat room. Let's talk just a little bit. Do you have friends around you who disregard some of those things that your parents are telling you? Do you have friends around you who kind of disregard some of the things that your parents hold dear? Some of the things you're trying to do. Let me put it this way. So maybe your parents are talking to you about like, take God seriously and so on and so forth. Or you have friends that are just making a joke and they could think it's a joke, all right? They could think it's a joke. They don't take it very seriously. Okay, so let me just mute because it's like some of us have our younger ones hanging around our neck and everything, and they're just playing around all right. So when you want to speak, you unmute, all right? So do you currently have a close friend who disregards some of the things your parents are passionate about? Do you have someone close to you that either makes fun or tells you it's not a big deal? All right. Fantastic. Chinere, do you want to tell us the part of what they're teaching you that your friend is disregarding? Maybe they joke about it. They're like, it's not a big deal. Do you get? So now, don't just tell me yes now. I want to hear which of the things your parents are talking to you about, are they particularly making a big deal of? They are joking with it. So when you say, I want to pray, or I don't watch this, they say it's boring, you're missing. All right. Okay, no, Chinaya, don't worry. I'm going to give you room to unmute now. Sorry, dear. Is Chinaya, I'm looking for you now so that I can give you permission to unmute. All right, you can unmute now. I have you pinned already.
Okay, so it's not really that much of a problem. I can definitely overcome it, but it's just sometimes when I notice that my friends who are also Christians on paper, like if you ask them, what is your religion? Who do you worship? They'll say Jesus Christ. They will say, I'm a Christian. But when it comes to things that are like watching movies that have some kind of scenes that are not very Christian and just different things, I feel, well, actually, I'm no longer with those kind of people in my life anymore. I'm with better people that respect Christianity and respect God. But I used to be in a friend group that had no regard for my respect for Jesus and respect for my relationship with him. And I'm very glad I got myself out of that situation. But I know that that can be very common among teenagers, especially today.
So Chinaya, not too fast. Walk us through how you came out, because
Okay.
because that can be the struggle. I know they're not a fit, but how do I come out of the relationship? So walk us through what the journey was like for you.
Okay. I just, it was kind of a journey of finding who I meant to be, because I saw somewhere that life isn't about finding yourself, it's about finding who God created you to be. And
100%.
I just started to think about, like, in my actions, every time we'll be together and I'll just be like, is this what God wants me to be? Is this where I'm supposed to be? Maybe I wasn't consciously having those thoughts, but I just felt within myself that this is not right. This is not what my parents raised me for. This is not what I've been expecting or been preparing myself for. These are the kind of friendships that I've been trying to get into. So I kind of just I realized that in that friend group I wasn't being myself, because if you're in a place where you're not allowed to express yourself and your religion and be respected, then obviously you're not being yourself. So I realized I wasn't being myself. So I started to be myself more, and I realized that they did not like me. They liked the person I was being for them. So once I realized that, I just left the friendship. I just extracted myself from those people. Like, I'm still friendly with them, but we are not as close at all.
So we don't make decisions together anymore.
No.
All right. Well, I mean, we're in school, so we would see each other from time to time. We are not enemies. We say hello and hi, but you're not in my circle of influence anymore. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tinaya. I mean, as you
You're
were
welcome.
talking, my whole head was just, you're saying a whole lot of things at the same time.
Sorry.
You're saying a whole lot of things that is of a whole lot of value. That's what I mean.
Okay.
The positive side. So just starting out, even saying, look, it's not about finding yourself. It's about finding who God designed for you to be. It's about finding God's purpose for you per time. In this season, who are you supposed to be, and then just following it. As a young person living in the world today, it can be daunting following those kind of pathways, but I'm excited you're here. For example, Chineye, being on this call today, you're able to speak with and share with other young people, and you won't even imagine how much light God is using your story to achieve. Now, you will not have that light to share today if you didn't allow the experience to grow you. Do you get? If you were still hiding from making the decision, today you'll just be sitting down and saying, well, it's hard, but you let God take you on that somewhat tough and lonely journey. And today you have fulfilled what he wants you to be doing right now, which in the last minute, you've been able to light up the path for another girl to get up and say, I'm going to say hi to them, but I'm not making decisions with them anymore. I'm not spending as much time anymore. In fact, a girl could watch this video and by replay, she hears what you said when you said, I started being myself more. And I discovered that they didn't like who I was. Because when I started to be myself more and I show my faith values and show the real values that I want to live for and live authentically, when I start to share those values, they start to become uncomfortable and they show me that they don't really like me. They like who I am, making myself to be with them. So someone can listen here and say, you know what, the first way to do is be authentic. Don't bend, don't hide, Be who God wants you to be. Let them get uncomfortable, and it gives you a beautiful exit. That was like a sermon, China. That was a message. Loaded, loaded, loaded. Thank you so very much. Ukeka wants to say something. Ukeka, you have the floor. I'm going to give you permission to unmute now. Please go ahead and share.
Okay, so one thing my parents do not like about, what my parents does not like with friends I have is, my friends say a lot of bad words. My mom and my dad, they don't like me saying, "Are you mad? Are you crazy? Is your head okay? This and this." They really put that value in me that I should not, because you cannot be telling a human being, "Are you mad?" Did God create the person like that? Instead of you to be saying positive words to the person, you will not be changing the words of a human being. It's not good. So friends I have right now with me, any small thing is, "Are you okay? Is this one okay?" And me now being in my mind, I'll not be like, "Mom, man, yeah, it's not meant to be like this." But I think that I cannot speak out because it's not me that they used to insult. But I'll be telling them that, calm me down on your words sometimes. That is a human being you're also talking to. There are sometimes I used to find myself saying those words because it's actually influencing me in a way. But what I've tried to do is, anytime they say those words, I try to caution them so that it can be better for me and also be better for my friends. Because I've told them that saying these words can prophesy into someone's life. Telling somebody, "Are you mad?" They can take that thing, and it also make them have self-esteem. Like, am I really mad? What I did just now, was he actually okay or was not okay? So it brings kind of a low esteem. As a child of God, it's kind, because as example, there are actually angels around, and an angel might take that seriously, and it's not just be good. So yeah.
You girls are ministering to me. You guys are preaching to me this afternoon. So I see where you're coming from, but I like the authenticity in saying, because you know that scripture that says evil communication corrupts good manners. Your parents are here trying to build these strong values in you, but now by association, you're dealing with people who don't uphold it. And now this is gradually slipping into your vocabulary. So, okay, let me ask you.
Yes, ma'am.
If you lost your parents, you lost what your parents had completely, what would you miss in your life? If you wake up one day and you no longer follow those values of choosing your words carefully, what are some things, elements of things you would miss in your life?
Sorry, ma, I don't understand the question.
So let me ask you, if you suddenly start talking anyhow,
Yes, ma'am.
what would happen to you inside?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, inside of me, number one, I'll feel really bad because I don't like making people feel bad. It's just one, because I know how it is to feel left out. So I won't make people feel left out and not okay. And also, the way I talk and make myself miss him outside, people take me to be responsible. People take me to be a nice, and I was like, you are doing well. You come from a nice home, this and this. So if all of a sudden I lost that,
Throw me off, but I'm coming. Can you
okay,
hear
ma'am.
me?
Yes,
All
ma'am, I
right,
can hear you.
it stabilized. All right, so go ahead. I thought you wanted to throw me out, but it has stabilized. Please go ahead. I didn't hear you when you were
Okay, I said
talking.
the
Yeah.
first thing is, I would if I have that kind of time, I'm saying it to people. Inside of me, I will not feel okay. I'll feel like I'm making somebody belittle somebody, because I know how it feels to be left out, and I would not want people to feel like that. And number two, because of all these attributes and values I have from my parents, people take me as responsible, and people take me that, okay, that I can stand in for people. So if I don't have that values at all, I will not be seen as someone that can be responsible for something. People just take me to be one of those other people that she's part of them. She's the one that used to insult people. She's the one that used to do this. So yes, ma'am.
All right. So this is fantastic. Thank you so much, Ukeka. So don't go
Yes,
yet.
ma'am.
Amy said something in the comment section. I want you to answer a question I have from there. Amy said, I personally feel like Ukeka is correct, and we should not only try to leave the friends, but also have an impact on them. If they refuse to change, then we leave them. They're not worth it. So I wanted to ask you, Ukeka, now. I feel like you're in this place where you're working on them. but now they're beginning to also influence you. What are some things you think you can do more to make sure that your voice is louder than their influence and you're spending more time educating them than consuming what they're saying? Because the more of what they say you consume, the more likely for it to come through in your own vocabulary. So what are some things you can start to do more of? So that if a girl here is saying, instead of just leaving these friends, can I try to change them? What are some things you would do to, while working on helping them make an adjustment, you're also trying to make sure that it is not you that is making the adjustment?
Okay, so in a friend group, of course, there has to be someone that is like has more influence upon everybody. It's like someone that if the person stands and says something, the person has people have to follow because this person like has an authority. So what I'll do is I will go over to that person, talk to the person and advise the person. I'll make the person see from my point of view that from his own point of view that if you were the one saying, "Are you mad?" using all these words that are no good for another person, if someone comes up to you and tells you that, would you like it? So it's not make the person stop at first, but that scenario you have created in the person's mind will make the person to like, okay, think about it and think about it. So that's how you go from this person, then go to another person. It's not necessary that you have to go to another person. Just look at someone that influences people a lot. Or if you feel like you yourself, you can, if you stand and talk, you influence people, then go ahead and do it. But just create a scenario in that person's head. If I was the one that they insulted, if I was the one that
Yes.
they made that
So that
remark
was,
to, would I like it?
yes, yes. So that way you've planted a seed that will
Yes.
eventually bear fruit, because you also want to give them time to process the things you're saying and make adjustment. But
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
meantime, be alert so that you also don't
Not,
become the person you will criticize. Thank you
yes,
so
ma'am.
much, Ukeka. That was very instructive. Thank you so much. These
Yes,
girls
ma'am.
are loaded, all right? So Auntie Deborah, Princess Deborah, your turn. Please, let's hear you. What is something of all the things your parents are teaching that, you know, you've taken it personally, and just share your experience with us? Princess Deborah, are you there? Can you unmute? Try again. I've given you permission to unmute. All right, go ahead.
Good evening, ma.
Good evening,
Good evening,
Deborah.
everyone. Good evening, ma. Actually, one
Listen,
sorry, ma. It's my younger sister. Ma,
it's okay.
what Princess Adeyemi said, that's the same point. That's my own point of view too. Sometimes I feel inferior and everything. So, like, I have this one friend. She doesn't like saying, "Are you mad? Are you stupid?" She doesn't like using those words, like all those earthly words and other insulting people. So anytime I do it, she looks at me with one kind of eye and she corrects me and be like, "I should not do it. I should mind the way I use words, because if someone does it to me, she knows very well I'll be very offended and upset. So if I don't want someone to do something, I shouldn't do it to another person." That's all.
Okay, so I want to walk you through something. You made a statement. I know there's a way that it can be if you have a friend that they have a value, they have a character you admire, but you don't have it yet.
Ma?
So I'm going somewhere. Did you hear me?
Yes, ma, I did.
If I hear you correctly, you said you have a friend that is always correcting you about how you use certain words. Am I correct?
Yes, ma.
In the process, you also mentioned that you find that sometimes you look down on yourself. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, ma.
So maybe I should ask you straight up. Do you feel embarrassed that you talk that way, that she has to correct you?
No, I don't. Sometimes I
Okay,
do.
okay, but what's the source of the looking down on yourself? What is something that makes you feel that way?
Because she's the only friend of mine that does that. The rest, they even talk about her and be like, this girl says she has problem every time that me I should leave her alone and everything. But she doesn't know, they don't know that she's actually helping me. Then they use the word a lot. Even when they're not offended, they just use the word and everything. I prefer
So,
staying with her than staying with them because I have this parent, I have a mom. Like my mom, she doesn't like those words. If you use it, she'll scold you and everything. So yeah.
okay, I get you now. So, but now this is the friend that you want to get close to, and you like the influence she's having on you. Am I correct?
Yes, ma.
So I want you to don't feel embarrassed with the corrections, embrace it, and watch yourself also become, have better vocabulary as a result of the friendship. But so now you actually have two choices. Excuse me. You have the friends that are not challenging you to change. They're not challenging you to make any adjustment. Then you have the one that is challenging you to make adjustment, like Ukeka. So we're asking you today to just spend more time with the one that is challenging you to grow. Sometimes you feel like, now, rest, must it be? Should you correct me all the time? It can happen like that. But I want you to know that that friend that has that value is worth holding together. So at this point, I want to share with you a story, and then we'll digest that story, and then we'll see what we can learn from it. All right. So let me share my slide. I hope the slide is open. It's not open. So let me cancel the sharing and open the slide first. Fantastic. So I want us to look at this story together and then decide, then we can even decide, try to determine why I shared the story. So let's go. It's open now. So the title of the story is People Who Ruin Their Lives in Real Life. This is a true life story, by the way. Completely true life story. All right. So because of the mic sounds, let me see how I can. All right. What did I just do now? What am I sharing exactly? All right. I'm back here. All right. So yeah, so where am I? I wanted to mute the mics because there was a bit of a noise in the background. All right. So somebody came on a platform and asked the question that, what is this, that it acts like people should share the story of someone that you know who messed up their life by making who destroyed their entire life by making one simple mistake. So I'm going to read the story and then we're going to decide what was it for this guy, all right? So this is the story of a guy called Sam Ballard. He was a 19-year-old rugby player. One day in 2010, he was drinking with his friends when suddenly they saw that there was a slug crawling near them somewhere in Sydney, Australia. As usually happens, when there is a group of drunk teenagers, they challenged each other to see who would eat it. Unfortunately, Sam was the one who accepted the challenge. All right. He swallowed the slug as if it were a pill. After a few minutes, his body began to weaken, his legs trembled, and he felt like he was going to faint. The slug was infected with the parasite that causes rat lung disease, a parasitic worm commonly found in the lungs of rats, but can be excreted in the poop. When a human eats this, I don't know, I'm trying to see what am I not saying? When a human eats the infected animal, the human now carries the worm. Humans are not structured in exactly the same way as rats. So the worm is not shed like it is in rats. Instead, they stay in the human body, and depending on where the worm ends up, the end result could be as mild as headaches, nausea, vomiting, and fever. Or much more serious, as in the case of Sam. He fell into a coma for over a year, woke up completely paralyzed, and remained so until his death in 2018. So, girls, why did I share this story with you? Comment section is open. Why did I share this story with you? So this is a true life story, true life story, true life, as true as I am now on this life call. It's a true life story. So who can tell me what this is all about? Why did I share this story? All right. Peer pressure, yeah? President Adura said it's about peer pressure. Why did I share this story? You wanted to show us the real danger of bad influence. It's very real, very real. To show that you don't need to do crazy stuff to prove you're worth it or fit in. Absolutely. Oh my God, these girls, you guys are giving me some real insights tonight. You shared to advise us to know the kind of friends we keep, to educate us on peer pressure, not to accept certain dares. I don't know if anyone here has participated in Truth or Dare. I learned that we shouldn't just do things because someone asked you to. Teach us that it isn't everything our friends tell us to do that we do. Everyone has a decision to make. Make the right. You're the perfect way you are. Fantastic. So has anyone here participated in a Truth or Dare? Have you ever participated in Truth or Dare activity? What was something you were dared to do? What was something you were dared to do? I have, unfortunately. Why did you have to put unfortunately? All right, I have. Okay. I have. I dared to slap a boy. Oh, how did that end up? I have. Yes. To avoid friends who can push you to the extreme. Yeah. Terrible. Whoa, Princess said it ended terrible. Fantastic. I have. What were you dared to do? Let me see. It has gotten dangerous, but whenever it did, I left. No police will catch me. It's not every time you'll be able to leave before that time, but I get you. All right. Fantastic. I never liked the game. It's too dirty. Yeah. Okay. So the thing about games like that is that they reflect the people that you're closest to. They ask who I think is the dirtiest in my class. I was there to peck a boy on his cheeks. I collected the beating. I was there to kiss a boy, very irritating. So think about it this way. You know, God has the standards he wants for us, but these standards are really for safety. For example, whether it's how we relate with boys, how boys access our bodies, things we do with boys, it's big deal to God. And then you already know this is wrong and you don't want to do these things. But with the circle of your friends in a Truth or Dare, you're asked to sit on someone's lap. Okay, I see somebody talk about money. I want to see how that went. I was there to sit on a boy's lap. I didn't want to though, but I didn't have money to pay them. So you sat on his lap. So you see that kind of thing. You get the idea. So child of God knows what God wants, but now in the elements of that excitement and fun, you may do something that you regret. You may do something that will grieve the Holy Spirit. And is it really worth it? So Truth or Dare for me really exposes our circle of friends. It really exposes who we are hanging out with. It really tells us this is your clique, because the extent to which they go shows us the kind of people that have access to our heart, that have access to our will. So some people say, I'm not easily influenced to. Influence is not always go and do it now. Influence is always, at least they made you consider it. So many of us, in very exciting moments, may do things that are really detrimental. Think about Sambalad. Did you really think he knew that throwing that slug into his mouth would cause him harm? I don't think he knew. I don't think he knew. So one of the things I really wanted to pass on to you is that there's something about group effects. Can you type group effect? Group effect. For example, if all your classmates start talking about wearing a new sandal at the end of third term, even if your sandal was still okay, you feel like you need one. Can somebody type group effect? I want to be sure you can hear me. Group effect. Let me see, group effect. Group effect is real. You hang around with people, they say throwing their collar is like, this is beautiful. You won't know when you start doing it. I'm telling you, you won't know when you start doing it. So now, so yeah, Princess, I like that. He didn't, but the problem all started with him getting drunk. So now, again, it's also the circle, all right? So in group effect, they will drink, they will take alcohol, they will challenge each other. That's fun for the group. So you need to ask yourself, which group effect am I a part of? Which group effect will sweep me? When I allow that group effect sweep me, what are the possible things that we could be challenged to do? So you've seen some of the things mommy and daddy have been talking to you about, and your aunties, uncles, grandma, grandpa, guardians have been talking to you about. But when you enter group effect, let me tell you, I don't know if there's anybody strong enough to resist group effect. Are you listening? There's nobody in the world that is strong enough to resist group effect. What you do is create a new group that you don't mind the effect. The safest way to be in a group that when they carry you, you don't mind. You can guarantee that the worst thing they would ask me to do will still honor God. Do you understand? So there's nobody, not even our parents, can resist group effect. So rather, what do? All you do is change the group. Choose the group you want to be a part of. Choose the group that would influence you. Choose the group that makes, so that you can step back and say, on the worst day, this is the worst we will do in this group, and it will still honor God. So the best way to shield yourself is to choose your group carefully. So now, I'm not asking you to abandon friends. I'm not asking, for example, you could have a friend that she's really good academically at something, but her values are not right. And you value that academic support you get from her. And in your mind, you're like, you don't know her journey. You don't know why she's struggling with the things she's struggling with. So you want to still show her value. So what I'm saying is, can you have a relationship with her that reduces how much influence she has on you? How would you do that? You heard what this girl was saying earlier. I can't forget her name like that, God. Chineye was saying earlier. Yeah, let me see. What Princess Chineye was saying earlier, which was that start being yourself, make them uncomfortable, and they leave you alone. Or start telling yourself there are conversations I would never have with this. Ekwe, her name is Ekwe. I'm looking for the Chineye, yeah? Be authentic so that your circle starts to adjust itself for the people who like your authentic self to move in. Or you can have a relationship that says, when I need advice, I don't talk to this person. When we want to have fun, If person A calls me for fun and person B calls me for fun, this is the person I'm most likely to go to, because fun for this person is safer for me than fun for this person. What this person considers fun can kill me. And we never know what will kill anybody. But what this person considers fun is safe, is healthy, is amazing. You know, one of the things I know is that Christian girls, for example, need to form circle of friendships that they have fun and are happy, so that you're not always uptight, like you don't go out, it is this. I want you to start thinking about, we do picnics together with my friends, we go out, we do photo shoots, we do things that we find really fun. We do treats, we do picnics, we visit each other, we have movie dates with our friends, so that it is interesting for you. For many young people, it is that the people who expose us to a lot of risk, the people who expose us to a lot of risk usually seem to be having all the fun. So it can be hard to not want to have fun. It's a human need to want to have fun. So what it means is that you now need to start looking for a way to create fun for yourself with people whose choices you value, whose choices you know you're safe with, so that you can start creating group effects that don't distract you. So that's it for me for today. I want to take questions now, but I want to hear what you've learned today in the course of today's meeting. What did you learn? What questions do you have for me? Drop them in the comments. If you would like to raise your hand, it is fine. I had 2 slides here I just wanted to talk about. That sometimes those people whose fun is not safe for you, they would usually say things like, your parents don't need to know. I know your mom doesn't like this. I know your dad doesn't like this. I know your family don't do this, but your parents don't need to know. And I just want to let you know that if your parents don't need to know, then it's going to get you into some disaster. If your parents don't need to know, it's going to get you into trouble. All right? And then sometimes when you're being pressured to do certain things, it's good to step back and ask yourself, what are they really asking me to do? So a friend of yours says, oh, just accept this boy. It's not a big deal. He's been begging you for so long. Just accept him. So what she's saying is, accept to be in a relationship with him. Accept that he will make demands for you certain times. Accept that you may end up compromising values. Just think it through. What of people who have strict parents and don't allow them to go out, have a little fun with friends? How do they convince their parents? So let me share a little secret. Bring the fun home. Tell your parents you want to host your friends in your home. If you have uptight parents, make your home the meeting point. Yes, Tommy, I like that. I like you don't necessarily need to cut people off totally, but create a distinction between how close or how far they are to you. So here's the thing. If your parents are really uptight, make your home the meeting point. Ask your mom that, is it okay if you host a few of your friends? If I know your parents correctly, they're very well. If your parents are strict, they want to know whose child, where do they live, where are they coming from? They shouldn't wear this kind of clothes, this kind of things. So you can say, no problem, we're watching a movie, we're doing picnic, we're buying pizza, let them come and have fun. And then we, on our own part, will continue to talk to your parents about ensuring that you have a social life. Because in having a social life, it reduces all the missing out you feel. It reduces the tension you feel to be a part of certain things, because there's not much happening around you. So we would continue to talk to parents as well. Make your home the meeting point. If your parents don't want you to go out, let the fun happen in your home. Invite your friends over. Your parents can be around. Remember, these are right friends, right values. There's nothing you're hiding. So your home is the venue. The movies is here, and you come the first time, you fix another date for another time. You fix another date. After a while, get your parents to have a relationship, your parents with your friend's parent to have a relationship. And before you know it, from meeting in your house, they'll be fine with you people meeting at a joint. One of your parents can be the chaperone, drop you people, come back, pick you people up or something. But essentially, I want you to know that your parents are coming from somewhere. They are concerned about the influence, but they don't know that keeping you in a place can be a problem as well. So you want to go through it gradually. You're going to get to a point where they'll be convinced. But start out with hosting in your home, start out with hosting in your home, start out with hosting in your home, and then from there, you take it from there. So what other questions are there for me? What other questions are there for me? I need to stop sharing now so I see your faces. What other questions are there? So your home can be a good meeting point. You talk like you're not in Nigeria. Nigerian parents will always doubt. So Divine, you never know. Start from somewhere. You never know how easy it will be if you keep on thinking it won't work. My mom won't even let people in her home. Ask her what her concern is. So for example, you all need to learn how to dialogue with your parents. Learn how to, she says she doesn't want people in her home. She says, why? She says, oh, she will not be there to supervise. You say, all right, mom, can it be the day that you're home so you can supervise? Give us a date you're home. Excuse me. All right. So so Princess Esther, you're here. The closing ceremony we're having on Sunday is parents and daughters, and we're going to talk about it. I'm going to bring this up, all right? I'm going to bring this up. I like that we should know who is your friend. There's a saying which says, show me your friend, I'll tell you who you are. And also people feel left out, and that causes them to actually get involved in peer pressure, and it's easy for them to get involved just to please others. Yes. Princess Amy, you want to say something? All right, so let me look for you and give you permission to unmute your mic. All right, go ahead. The floor is open for you.
Okay, what I wanted to say was that one of the reasons why my mom won't allow me to go to one of my friends' houses is that there was a time that she and I weren't friends at all. As far if we look at each other, it's like we really disliked ourselves. But at one point, we became friends. And at that period of time when I did not like her, I always used to talk to her about my mom. I'm always ranting, see what she did in school today. Oh, I don't like it, blah, 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 blah. Then my mom was suddenly just like confused when we just suddenly became friends.
Oh.
So I think that's one of the reasons why she won't allow me go out.
So sit down with her and ask her, Mommy, what are your concerns? I think you rubber for me. I think she has changed. This is why I think she has changed. These are some of the things I've noticed to show she's changed. Or maybe, Mommy, maybe I had the wrong idea. This is why I think I had the wrong idea. So that your mother goes on the journey with you to wait. Don't just dismiss it and say, they won't let me. Sit down with her and explain, Mommy, what are your concerns? Okay, if you think this thing is still an issue, how should I navigate? How should I go about the friendship if you think these issues I raised then are still as important? If you think that my own values have been eroded, let me share with you what I am doing to still uphold the values that you teach me. So it helps her feel at peace. It helps her feel, at peace with the conversations, all right? I can't leave, no one is alone. I don't know why. So Rita, talk to them. Mommy, why won't you let me go out? Some of your parents are scared of something happening. I just want to open up to you about something. Some of your parents have had crazy experiences as young people. When I was a teenager, I remember a friend of mine, she went to visit her friend and her friend's brother raped her. So sometimes the home you want to visit, are there boys? Does your friend have older brothers, uncles, younger ones? Those can be a source of concern for your mother. So that's why I said if you choose them coming over to you, it may go faster than before. All right. If you have brothers in your home and other parents will not agree for their daughters to come, you can ask your mom that, Mom, I think people just have a concern when there are boys in a home. Can you call the mother to say you would be home to show that you would be sure that everything is okay and their daughters feel safe coming over? So when you do that, the adults involved believe that you're a responsible person and you'll be able to handle whatever happens during the course of the meeting. So let me tell you, once you show leadership and you show that you can take responsibility and you show you can listen to your parents' point of view and you can show your own point of view to have a meeting point, it's easier for certain things to get done. My mom's concern is the situation of kidnapping and all, but I feel going out at any time, not only to a friend's house, can get a person kidnapped. I just feel sometimes people should know she should let me see them at least once in a while. So what about if you tell her that since they know the people, two of you should go together? You, mommy, we should go and see Mrs. So you see her, I see her daughter. We can start from there. I understand her fears, baby girl. I wish we're not in the situation we currently are, but at last we're there. So your mother's first responsibility and your father's first responsibility and your aunties and grandmas and grandpa's first responsibility is to protect you. And sometimes it will annoy you, the decisions they have to make in order for that to be true. But in order for them to be sure that they're really protecting you. So people, I've had a long day today, but I had fun. Did you enjoy yourself? Did you learn something new? I believe that you did. My friends now know me as a disappointing type to events. Don't worry, Rita. You'll be shocked by how much protecting that is doing for you. You're fed up, I understand, but have a conversation with mom, have a conversation with dad, open the conversation at least and see where that leads us, all right? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. Actually, my mom is concerned about me going out based on, I want to see that. I want to see that. Based on what is happening in our world today. Take, for instance, social media, you chat with strangers and some of them ask to meet them somewhere. Yeah. I learned that you should create boundaries between people. Not everybody's your friend. Be yourself and never let anyone downgrade you. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about going online. And yes, it's true that, you know, when you get online, some people ask to meet you in person. Kidnappers, human traffickers, you know, people that want to molest you, ritualists, is a whole crazy bunch, you know. So understand with your parents where they're coming from. Thank you so much. Thank you. Princess Rose said I enjoyed today's talk. I give God all the glory. I learned you're in the world for God's purpose in your life. But time. Should a girl only have female friends? Not at all. You can, I mean, you should have friends with boys, but you should be honest about the relationship. You should be so honest that you're not telling yourself, there's nothing when there is something. That authenticity with yourself, when you start to get emotionally, you know, entangled, you should be able to know that, oh, this is no longer a basic friendship for me. And, you know, take the steps you need to make sure you're making responsible choices. But other than that, you should be able to be friends with boys. It's not a big deal. But also don't be friends with boys who don't have values. Don't be friends with boys who may push you to do things that, you know, can be a problem. I learned that you should create boundaries between people. Not everybody's a friend. Be yourself and never let anyone downgrade you. You have to choose your friends carefully. My friends, don't worry about the typo. There should be boundary between you and the boy so that you honor God. So here's the thing: whatever we do it honoring God. Friendships with boys or girls, we do it honoring God. There can be a girl who is friends with boys in a very honorable way. And there could be another girl that says, I mean, I'm not close to boys, but she's with girls, right? And they're doing the wrong stuff. They're encouraging each other to do the wrong stuff. They're saying the wrong things. They're watching the wrong things. So we can't say that it's really about who you're friends with. It's always about the values that you keep with whoever you're with. I learned that we should be ourselves. We shouldn't be inferior to others. And we should mind our words and the words we use on people. Yep. I enjoyed hanging out with you girls today too. Thank you so very much. So tomorrow, is it weird to have a boy as a best friend? Not at all. As long as this best friend is not based on emotions, we're telling the truth about how we feel about each other. Otherwise, boys are good parties. They're friends. You know, when a girl is being intimidated, her friends are boys, like, you can do this, I'll do it. And so you know, they can help boost your courage and morale. But you have to be honest enough to say that it is not a friendship, that there are emotions underneath, especially, you know, emotions that could lead to wrong choices and decisions. So you can have boys as your pals and it's not a big deal. So when I was in university, I had a group of boys that were my pals. We used to read together, study together. And I assure you, one time, one of them made a statement that suggested that they forgot I was a girl. So we're all just pals, we're all just neutral. And then we all started getting married. And when they were meeting the girls and the ladies they wanted to date and marry, they'll bring them to me like, this is our sister. And quite frankly, there was no emotions underneath. So my own is, don't just say you can be friends with a boy, no big deal. If you start a friendship with a boy that is supposed to be platonic, he's just your friend in class, and you start daydreaming about him, you have to step on your brakes and come out of that. You get the idea? You have to step on your brakes, because at that point, the emotions will complicate the relationship. All right. I'm so excited. I enjoyed this session thoroughly. I look forward to tomorrow's session. If any question comes to your mind after tonight's session, you know what you do? Write it down, bring it to class. Bring it to class tomorrow and we'll talk about it. Yeah, all right. Thank you so very much. Have a beautiful evening. Let me unmute you so I can hear your voices as you say bye-bye. Let me unmute you. I also want to take a picture of
Bye.
Bye, ma. Bye.
Take a picture.
Thank you so much.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you, ma. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, ma. Kisses.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Take care, ma.
Thank you so much. I
Have a
appreciate
wonderful
it.
Thank you
evening.
very much. I learned so much today.
Thank you.
Bye. So,
Bye.
thank you,
Bye.
Mr. Amy. Thank you, Mrs. Amy, Mrs. Deborah, Mrs.
Bye.
Esther, Rita, Tiffany, Ruth, Genesis, Michelle, Mary, Sharon, Chiamaka,
Bye.
Vivian, iPhone. Bye. Thank you so much.